this is Michelle Wren, and today I'm going to be talking about the game Mancala. The word Mancala actually refers to a family of games that are played around the world. They all involve sewing or count and capture. That describes the type of gameplay that's involved with these games. But the version that we are most familiar with in the United States is actually called Kala, and it's what we refer to as Mancala. So today I'm going to show you how to play that game. So first of all, the board consists of 2 rows of 6 pits or wells. And while I have a wooden board here, if you were wanting to play at home and didn't have a board, you could actually use an egg carton for this. And then on each side, there's a larger well, which is called the Mancala. If you were making a board at home, you could actually just use 2 small bowls for that. And then I have gems here. I usually refer to them as stones. Some people refer to them as seeds, or you could use marbles. If you were doing this at home, really, you could use anything small that you had 48 of. So anyhow, to start the game, one player picks up all of the stones in one of his shallow wells, and he places 1 stone in each well, moving counterclockwise around the board. Now, I landed in this larger pit here, and the pit to the right of each player is their Mancala. So I'm allowed to place a stone here. However, if I was moving around the board and I made it to my opponent's Mancala, I do not have to place a stone in their Mancala. I'm allowed to just go ahead and skip it and put the stone in the next well here. And the reason for that is because your Mancala ends up being where you collect all of the stones that you capture in the game. And the object of the game is actually to be the player that collects the most stones. So, besides all that, there's really only 2 basic rules in Mancala. The first one I've actually displayed here, and that is, if you are moving around the board and your last stone lands in your Mancala, then you are actually allowed to take another set of stones from the wells on your side and take another turn. So that's the one basic rule. The other rule, I'm going to remove a couple of stones here so that I can show you. If you go to take your turn and your last stone ends in an empty shallow well that's on your side of the board, you get to not only place that stone in your Mancala, but all of your opponent's stones that are directly across from that well in your Mancala as well. Really, those are the basic rules for Mancala. The game ends when one side no longer has any stones. And what happens in that case, and you would never have it this unbalanced, but once one side is empty, whatever is left in the opponent's side, they get to take that and put it in their own Mancala. And then everybody counts up their stones, and the person with the most stones wins. So it seems pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but the trick to the game is really to predict what your opponent is going to do with each new move. And then you have to try to plan 2 or 3 moves ahead, trying to predict what your opponent's going to do and try to up your chances of collecting stones while minimizing your opponent's chances of collecting stones. So that's pretty much the game. I really love it. It's simple enough for young children to play, but it's engaging enough for any adult to enjoy playing it as well. And it definitely is a great game to encourage and sharpen strategic critical thinking skills for everybody.